Okay. Silence is golden. Good evening, everybody. This is K5LYN. My name's Lynn. I'm in Austin, and this is the Boat Anchors Unlimited Net. Been getting together here on Wednesday evenings for many years talking about older radios. I happen to be on a Central Electronics 10A from the year 1952. I always like to say that this radio went on the air when General Eisenhower was figuring on being president someday. It is paired up with a Drake R4 receiver by way of a transceive adapter that I built and demonstrated at one of our previous vintage radio meetings in Jonesboro, Tennessee. The 10A drives a converted Nightkit 50-watt CW transmitter to about 40 watts, and that's going into a Drake L4B. Anyway, we're going to talk about vintage stuff here today. Buy, sell, trades are welcome if they're boat anchor related. If you have a technical question about a radio you're working on, this is a good place to ask for some advice because there's a lot of wisdom reflected here. Okay, let's see here. I said I was going to call Joseph first. Mr. WA5EIJ, you got that ready to go, Joseph? K5LYN.
K5LYN and all the Boat Anchors Unlimited, a bunch of really nice fellows. Guys, I am on a Central Electronics 200V, the high end of the line from the Central Electronics low. Lynn's got the first and I got the last one. And we got a guy, Nick Tusa, who knows, some people say he knows how to operate on these things pretty good. Guys, I got a storm that's going to hit here any minute. I got to sign off. I wish I could stay with you. I'm listening to y'all on the Drake R4 Charlie, except I'll fix to cut everything off. You guys have a good net. Over.
All right, Joseph. Great signal, and we have kicked off this net with two Central Electronic stations in a row. Let's turn this thing down to W5XU and K5EF, who are organizing the next fabulous gathering of vintage radio enthusiasts down in the New Orleans area this year. W5XU, David, Nick, pick it up. K5LYN.
Very good. Good evening, everyone. This is W5XU, David. We're talking on a PR7 to an L7 to a dipole up about 60 feet. Dipole going east-west. Lynn, you're at 20 over 9 here in Covington, so everybody's doing real good. And it's getting darker outside, so I'm anticipating that the weather that Joseph is getting will be getting pretty soon as well. That's about for me. I'm going to give it over to Nick, and he'll tell you about the goings on for July. Hold on for a second. K5LYN, this is K5EF, and I want to say hi to everybody that is braving the bad weather. And Joseph, adios. I know you're trying to do getting away from the lightning. Tomorrow night, we're actually having a Hamfest meeting over at the Ozone Amateur Radio Club. So I haven't been to the last meeting. I was out of town on business, but I'll have a fuller update on the goings on for the next Boat Anchors Unlimited net. We'll send out invitations to folks to give presentations at the symposium. Again, the symposium itself starts on Friday, July 19th. The Hamfest is on Saturday, the 20th. It typically goes from around 7:30 in the morning till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is pretty typical of most Hamfests these days. And then in the afternoon we'll reconvene over at the La Quinta Hotel, which is where we're having the vintage radio symposium. It's a little bit unusual this year because we're having state-of-the-art stuff as well. We have a couple of guys that are going to be talking about SDR radios and designing with some fairly inexpensive building blocks. One guy is he's working on a slow scan television converter using an SDR radio to listen to the space station, who's been transmitting some slow scan images, which is pretty interesting because he learned all about Doppler shift. So he's fighting that problem right now. But in any event, things are shaping up to have a really nice time, and we hope to see a lot lot of folks that we saw over at Belton over here in Slidell. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys.
Outstanding, Nick. And I think everybody knows I made the first one of the gatherings that you organized and been going ever since. So we look forward to seeing you then. Over.
Yeah, that was really fun because, of course, Wes Shum was quite alive, well, and with it. And those were field days that we started with first. And then it morphed into the boat anchor event. And you just never know what's going to show up in this thing. We've had some very rare and unusual rigs, like the Hallicrafted FPM 200, which are very few of those around. And these sets were actually working. We had some Cosmophone sets. We had prototypes of E.F. Johnson's single sideband transceiver and matching amplifier, which was quite advanced for its time. Unfortunately, it was never built, but Tempo actually built the amplifier. So the amplifier at least did exist. So you just never know what you see at this thing, and there's lots of homebrew stuff. Mike Bond, KG-17 planning to drive down from the Scottsdale, Arizona area, and he's just an absolute whiz coming to homebrewing. He's homebrewed a 75-meter cider in a Tektronix 465 oscilloscope case, and this thing is just unbelievable, guys.
Absolutely, and I told Mike he's quite welcome to stay here en route, so I'll show him some of my stuff. Back to you, Nick.
All right, guys, take care.
All right, looking forward to it. See you then. Okay, I'm going to call DK, BTM, LYL, and WOZ next. Dan, W5DK, Don, how about it, Don? K5LYN, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, Lynn, everybody on the net. Thanks for checking me in and acknowledging. I'm in Spring Branch, Comal County, just north of San Antonio in the hill country. I get to see hills north of me. Station here is just Drake TR4 and with an old 104 driving it, and that's going through an L4 amp and a station console C4, a bunch of other Drake stuff out through a Heathkit tuner, and it's good to hear everybody. I won't keep it. Let everybody get in. So glad to hear everybody. Glad I've been missing a couple of weeks. Been working too hard. So glad I remembered to check in. Back to you, Lynn. W5DK. Evening.
Yeah, you're about the strongest I've heard you in a long time. Must be great conditions between us. Nice signal, Don. And by the way, my receiver that I'm transceiving with is still moving around a little bit, so if anybody wants to correct my frequency in here, speak up. That advice will be welcome. All right, moving on. N5 BTM, what do you say, Ralph? K5LYN.
Yeah, K5LYN in the net. This is N5 BTM, Ralph and Spring. Good evening, one and all. And this evening, we're running the old Green Machine Heathkit stuff, SB100, Shure 440, 44, get all them fours in there. And that's driving a homebrew GS35B, about 700-800 watts. Antenna's a trap antenna with, it's a dipole basically, an inverted V configuration. And that's all going through an MFJ tuner. Oh, back to you there, Lynn, and let's get a lot more in for the weather gets us N5 BTM.
Ralph, there's no way that station could sound any better. It is outstanding. Now, correct my memory here. Do I remember something about you showed me a picture of a 813 amplifier you built one time?
That's correct. And I have hopes of putting that thing online here. It's 4 813s. Is the big one, and I keep the other one up at the place, just a pair of 813s, but you're correct.
Yeah, I remember the picture you sent me. That would be something that would collect a lot of attention if you were to take it down to the Vintage Radio meeting down in Slidell, Louisiana this summer, over.
Yeah, I know, but I'd need North American Van Lines to transport it.
Well, I had a trunk full of radios that I did one time, and it does change your gas mileage. All right, Ralph, great signal. Anything else for the net this evening?
No, that's it. I'll try to get the old 813s on here shortly.
All right, we'll look forward to it. All right, moving on. Hey, LYL, Todd, talk to us, K5LYN. Well, Todd might be bothered with weather. If he wants to talk, he can come back. How about WOZ, Dan?
Yeah, good evening, Lynn, and everybody else on the boat anchors. I'm probably moving around. I discovered after you gave me the hint that the band switch on this old Swan 500, if you wiggle it just a little bit, the thing jumps all over the place. So it's the one thing I haven't really cleaned yet, but I'm going to do it. Anyway, we are running an old Swan 500. I managed to come up with a 117XC power supply that needed just about as much repair work done as the radio itself, but anyway, it's working it yet. Putting out about 370 watts, in fact. And I got a nice note from Nick the other day, and he mentioned something that I think should gather a lot of interest over there in Slidell, and that is one of those symposiums is on building HM amplifiers. So there's a lot of people like to build those because they're fairly simple, and that should attract some attention. I'd be going myself if we were going to be around, but we're going to be out of the country that about half of that month. Anyway, that's it from here, Lynn. Just keeping head low for the weather. K5LYN, KWOZ.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to talk Ralph into taking his 4813 amplifier, because the picture he sent me some years ago is unforgettable. But yeah, about your Swan there, yeah, it's consistently up the band. But that, again, was, we were talking about that a while ago. They ran the VFO through the band switch, and if it's not right, that'll happen to you, over.
Yeah, all I got to do is just barely touch that knob on the band switch, and it moves one way or the other, and if I key it a couple of times, also it jumps just by keying it, not with time or anything. So I need to do a little more cleaning in there, I think, Lynn.
Other than that, it sounds great. Swans always are big talkers, and clearly that one's working. Good to hear you, Dan. I better move on here. Let me see. I had Ed. Ed, I might not have written your call right exactly. Was it N5JI or JIJ? What was that, Ed? Straighten me out. K5LYN.
K5LYN. This is N5JJI. Handles Ed, New Braunfels. I'm working on my Kenwood 530, inherited from my father, and I keep it here on the desk and play it a couple of times a week just for the fun of it, because I like to tweak on knobs and dials and stuff. Not much else from here. I'm planning on hooking it up into an old Clipperton L, but I don't have it hooked up yet, so maybe next week. N5JJI, back to net.
Spectacular signal, Ed. What's the antenna you're using, out of curiosity?
I have out of the back of the radio, I go to a watt meter, nothing else. Out of the watt meter, I go to an inverted V up about 45 feet at the peak. It loops to down around 20 feet at the ends, oriented mostly east-west. And that's it. It's made out of number 12 household wiring.
Well, that just shows if you do it right, it'll work. And you did it right. It's doing a nice job, and the old Kenwoods are hard to beat. Good to hear you tonight. Okay, KA5CXG, what do you say, Bob?
Well, I say I got a lot of static, and out here in West Texas, got a bunch of static, and hearing everybody real well, though, even through the static, so don't have anything to really complain about. Everybody's sounding good, a lot of radios. I'm glad to hear some Swans on, and they're doing all right. Everybody's doing fine. We're doing okay. I was going to put my 820 on out the lake last week. The conditions were too bad, and I didn't check in. But I should have either the 820 or the 520 or something back on here next week. So anyway, that's about it. Everybody have a good week, and we'll enjoy the rest of the net. K560.
Nice signal. Good to hear you. All right, Bob, we'll be around. Let's see. Kyle, you still hanging out there? You want to talk to us? How about KA5D? What do you say?
Hey, Lynn, this is Kyle, KA5D, checking in from about 6 blocks away from you. Just wanted to get in for the count. Thanks for taking me. You all sound great. Love the Boat Anchor Net. KA5D, thanks.
Nice signal, Kyle. Had a nice visit with your brother on the radio as I was going out toward Bastrop County here the other day. He told me he was doing a new car deal he was working on. All right, moving on. W5HTA. Lynn, how about it? K5LYN.
Hello, Lynn. This is W5HTA in Pearland, and I'm talking to you all on a pair of old Drake's T4X transmitter and a R4A receiver I picked up in Belton last year, and I was waiting on protection cables and getting a speaker for the power unit and everything, but it's hooked it all up, and it's surprising. Might be a little dirty, but other than that, it seems like it's putting out pretty good power. Putting out about 125 watts, running barefoot into just into a watt meter and out into an IMAX 4080 dipole with a backyard and IMAX. And it's about, I want to say 35, 40 feet at the apex, drooping down about 15 feet. And I got it kind of looping around trees in the yard. I've been out there this afternoon trimming the trees off my antenna that was drooping on it. It's one of those Bradford pear trees, but touching it, getting it off of it to make sure it kind of radiates. But once these Drakes seem like they are on for a while, they seem like they get kind of stable. Anyway, y'all sound really good, and thank you for letting me participate, and I'm glad I was able to jump in here and with these old Drakes. I hope I sound okay. Anyway, back to you, Lynn, at this W5HTA Fairland.
It's working fine, Lynn. Yeah, I'm a Drake fan. I have their very first receiver, the 1A, and everything that came after that up to this R4 here that I'm using on the net tonight. They built very nice stuff. Good to hear you. Catch us subsequent Wednesday evenings. With a long list here, I better move on. KE5Q, what do you say, Jim? K5LYN.
Yeah, K5LYN on the net. This is Kilo Echo 5 Quebec, Jim in Plano. And we are on the Drake Twins tonight after giving the HW12 a little try. Anyway, we're on the R4B T4XB going into the L4B, going into the Ultimax 8040 double bazooka. And that's the story here. It's still sprinkling here, but it looks like all the bad stuff's moved out of here. K5LYN on the net. KE5Q. Let you keep on moving.
Yeah, Jim, great to hear you. Keep us posted on the issue on the other radio, on the Heathkit. I'll be curious to see what that was about, because it was quite pronounced. And just for all of our education, I'd like to know what it was, in case it happens to me. Keep us posted. All right, let's move on to W5HTR. Fred, bring us up to date, K5LYN.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, Lynn and Lynette. W5HTR, Fred in Richardson, Texas here. Well, I'm talking on a TR3 and I'm listening on the same radio. The mic is a Shure, I guess it's a 444 Delta. And the antenna is an inverted V. Oh, I'm getting a little help from an old FL 2000B, which I guess is doing a pretty good job here. Not a whole lot to offer, other than I will say that this TR3 on which I'm speaking is up for sale. If anybody's interested in giving me a call, it works just fine. One unique feature is that it doesn't have the original meters. It's got two outboard meters just sitting on the top of the radio that are not calibrated, but they work just fine. So if anybody's interested in kind of an old resurrected radio, give me a shout. Let's see. Can I give my phone number, Lynn, over?
You can do that. An email address is probably preferred, but whatever you want to do is fine.
Okay, my email is mcball@yahoo.com. I'm okay on QRZ. And I'll quickly pass my phone number. It's 972-231-7511.
Okay.
That's the story here. Thanks for letting me in the net. I enjoy it every week. I look forward to it, even though I'm sometimes not here for it. K5LYN, Austin, W5HTR.
Very good, Fred. W5HTR at yahoo.com. And this seems to be the Drakes may win the attendance award tonight, because we've heard more Drakes than anything else. Good to hear you. Nice signal into Austin. Let's see if IEI. Mike, you still there? You want to talk? All right, moving on. How about Perry, KB0UOZ? Perry, let's see if you're still as strong as you were a while ago, K5LYN.
Okay, Lynn, well, we'll see. Hopefully I am. Boy, everybody else is strong. Signals are great up here in the north this evening. Lynn, I'm kind of on my typical. I got the SB102 going with the Shure 450 microphone, and of course I got some of the accessories sitting around here, and going through the 220 amplifier and the Neutron Super Tuner out through the 450 arm wire line to a 135-foot inverted Z. So kind of my same story here these days. Anyway, like I say, everybody sounded really good tonight. Lynn, I'll let you keep moving on. Good evening all the way around. KB0UOZ.
Perry, you're as strong or stronger than most of the Texas area people I'm talking to here. An amazing signal tonight. Great to hear you. All right, that's all I had of the pre-net list. Who else talk boat anchors tonight? K5LYN listening.
N5NYZ.
Kilo 5, Lima Tango.
Whiskey Juliet 5, Mike Sierra.
Okay, wow. Let me see. I think I had TXW, MSLT, maybe an NYZ. Hi, Tom. George, did I hear you, TXW?
Sure enough, WB5TXW on a rice box. Hello to everybody. Short one, WB5TXW back. Tune that.
Okay, well, I'm glad you came by. I corrected my frequency a little bit. Probably that was the right thing to do at the right time. Good to see you, George. All right, I'm not sure who all I got there. I know I got NYZ. Tom, talk to us.
Yeah, K5LYN in the group here, N5NYZ, Tom out in Alpine, Texas. Good evening to everybody. Tonight, I'm not on a boat anchor. In fact, I'm on the new Kenwood 890, feeding an ALS 600 at about 500 watts out, and into an inverted V at about 50 feet. Well, we had rain out here in Alpine for the first time since January 1st, if you can believe it. Got just a little bit over 1 inch, a little over 1 inch. We've been busy rearranging things in the shack here, and also my shed out in the yard. You know how we accumulate stuff, and anyway, I'm doing pretty good about all that. Also, I might mention I'm negotiating with a fella in Colorado for a JRC 525 receiver. I've never owned anything by Japan Radio Corporation, and I thought it might be fun to maybe try it and see how I like it. It's only 33 years old, Lynn, so it's about half my age. Hi. So back to you. That's all I've got. Oh, let's see. We're finally getting a little sun out here now. It's 57 degrees. K5LYN, N5NYZ. Thank you for having me.
Great signal. Absolutely. And keep us posted on that receiver when you get it in. I'd like to hear more about it. All right. I'm not sure if I got the next call right. I heard something about LT, and that might be Lyle, but I might be wrong. What did I hear there? Over to you, K5LYN.
Yeah, Lynn, you heard right. It's Kilo 5, Lima Tango. And first question,
information.
Go ahead, Lyle.
Okay. Yeah, you had me. This is K5LT. I was just checking to see if I was on frequency. This radio is drifting on me here at the moment. So, anyhow, I'll continue on. Running the good old Heathkit SB101 tonight, and running through the Heathkit SB221 amplifier. So the usual stuff out through the inverted V, running through the cedar trees, and hearing everybody great tonight. Signals are great, band's good, and enjoying listening to everybody. Everybody's sounding great. We got about 2 3/4 inches of rain today whenever all that passed through, and I think it all came in about 30 minutes. So it came down hard and fast, and glad to see it move on out, and hope everybody to the east of us is doing good. So back to you, Lynn. K5LT.
Outstanding signal. That's the second outstanding Heathkit transceiver we've heard. They're amazing, you know, how well they work when they're right. Beautiful audio, sounding really good. Great to hear you, Lyle. Anything else for the net this evening?
No, sir. No, sir. Everybody sounded great. K5LT.
All right, let's talk to WJ5MS, and then, Todd, I'll pick you up. Jim, talk to us.
You got a breaker in there, too. Not me, somebody else.
Oh,
waiting his turn.
Well, didn't I hear WJ5MS, Jim?
Yes, sir. We got it, Lynn. Can you copy?
Yes, I do copy. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Wasn't real sure. Had a couple other voices in there, but anyway, we're sitting there hollering at U104 so we can get some audio over here in this TR4 Drake. See if you can hear us up there. And awful hard hearing down here because I got an awful lot of static, and you know, it's getting spoiled with a with a flex radio where you got all the noise blankers and stuff that these old radios don't have. Anyway, we're putting the RF over there to an SB220 and hopefully getting up there in your area so we can say great net. I don't think Jay's going to show because that stuff is just barely moving out of his area, and Bobby Hassel and all that. So back to you there, Lynn. Old boys over on the east side of the state, I don't think most of them are going to put their antenna on. 73.
Okay. Nice signal, Jim. Good to hear you. Yeah, I knew that the front would change the attendance on the net this evening, but it worked out good for me. But I know it's headed down into some of the territory southeast of me. It's going to knock some people out. Y'all have fun when it gets there. Okay, I'm going to talk to KA5LYL, then I'm going to talk to WA5RON. Todd, pick it up.
Okie dokie. Here I is, trying as hard as I can. Driving this little, these 3811 tubes with 65 watts. That's as hard as I dare drive them. This is KA5LYL, Todd, Corpus Christi, and I got the mic drain cranked up pretty good too. And all that good stuff. The boat anchor stuff is disconnected tonight. I was really paranoid that this stuff was going to do something, so I'm on high alert as far as my paranoia goes. So just the main station here with the little amplifier I drive it with, the TS590SG Kenwood, Heil PR781 mic. Here's even a few more highs if that helps. Let's see, about 600 watts, something like that, 650 maybe. Into an off-center fed dipole. That's all I got. I'll do the same as everybody else has been doing. Keep it going. This is KA5LYL. Back to net.
Well done, Todd. Sounding good in Austin. WA5RON. Hey, Ron, tell us about it.
Somebody keeps saying break, please, too.
I'm on a different microphone. I hope it's sounding good. I'm on my D104 Silver Eagle outside, turned back, and feeding into my Swan 500 CX, about 325 watts out, and it's got the SS16 filters in it. Somebody said it's Collins filters, but that's about it. How do you copy it, Lynn?
Well, I copy you fine, Ron. It's working. I think the band is getting a little bit noisier as it opens up, and we're hearing a little bit more of those static crashes associated with the front. So they're louder now than they were a while ago, but I'm hearing you fine. Back to you, Ron.
Hey, Lynn.
Audio about right then?
I think it's just fine. I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay, I'll get off, and most everybody's sounding good up here in North Shawnee, Oklahoma, at WB5RON.
Hey, Lynn, somebody keeps saying break, please. I do not know who it is. Don't recognize them, but yeah.
Well, all right. We'll take a check-in. Is somebody trying to get into the Boat Anchors Net? K5LYN listening.
K5LYN, copy N5NYZ.
Go ahead, Tom.
Lynn, I forgot. Could I have permission to contact KE5Q, Jim?
Absolutely. Give him a call.
KE5Q, copy N5NYZ. Oh, boy. I found in my house cleaning out here, as I mentioned, I found some connecting cables for a Globe King 400 that I had, I don't know, 100 years ago. And I understand Jim has one. He's welcome to them if he's free to them. And that was my message. Robert was supposed to contact him, and I don't know if he got a hold of him. So that's my information here. K5LYN and 5NYZ.
Well, he'll be back next week, most likely, Tom, so give him a try again. Okay, moving on. Who else for the Boat Anchors tonight? K5LYN, listening?
Kilo Charlie 5 WOF.
WA5GFO. Kilo Charlie 5 November Papa Charlie.
Okay, I'm going to talk to WOF, GFO, and NPC. WOF, pick it up.
K5LYN and the Boat Anchors Unlimited Net. Hello, everybody. This is Dale, Delta Alpha Lima Echo, and transmitting tonight from New Sweden out at the farmhouse there. Operating the Drakes. I can join the rest of the gaggle of Drake operators tonight on an R4B and a T4XB. I'm piping in through a Ohio GM vintage mic in the transceive mode. Additionally, a Yaesu Musin solid state, nearly a Boat Anchor FL7000 amplifier and a flat-topped doublet at 43 feet. Enjoyed the stations I've heard already, and I hope we have a nice net and the noise is bearable there, Lynn. Thanks for letting me in. 73 and best wishes to everybody, and I'll kick it back to you, K5LYN, K5WOF.
What'd the weather do to you guys out there in New Sweden this evening?
Well, I think it was like 2.24, and the bulk of that land came pretty much as the front rolled through. It was a good, gutter cleaner.
Yeah, I had about half that much, I think, but it was about what I wanted here in my yard, so it worked for me. Good to hear you. Anything else for the net this evening?
No, sir. Good to hear you as well, and I'm going to be listening and continue to enjoy our Boat Anchor net. 73 all, K5WOF.
All right, let's pick up GFO. What do you say, Gary?
Good evening, everybody. This is W5GFO, and I'm running a Kenwood 820 tonight, pushing a little Yaesu 2100 amplifier. Antenna is a inverted V at 60 feet, and the microphone's an MC50. And it's been a while, but we finally made it back since they've changed that daylight savings thing. Why, seems like it's a lot easier to stay up late. Hi. All right, that's enough. K5LYN, WA5GFO.
Another nice signal. We got a bunch of them tonight. All right, NPC. And Nat Hubert, it's been so long I've forgotten. K5LYN. Over to you.
Yeah, Lynn, Kilo Charlie 5 November Papa Charlie Hubert out in San Angelo. And I apologize, I'm not on the CX, the 500CX like I promised last week. I heard Ron on his, and I said, well, I'm going to get back in this week with it. But I've been unplugged for the last 24 hours, so I didn't get prepared. So I'm on ICOM 7300, going through the Heathkit SB1000 out to the off-center fed dipole. Got about 2 inches here in San Angelo, so got a good ground. KC5 NPC, over.
You also got a nice signal into Austin. How am I doing up there?
Oh, you're 20 over plus.
All right. We'll stick with it a little longer then. All right. Who else for the boat anchors? K5LYN calling and listening.
KC5L.
KC5L, talk to us.
Hey, good evening, Lynn and the Boat Anchors Net. This is KC5L, Tom in San Antonio. And you're listening to us on a Central Electronics 200V. And I'm listening to you on a R390A. And the antenna is a dipole of about 15 feet, line fed, and the microphone is a D104. And that's about all I have. And just want to say good evening to everyone. And 73 KC5L.
Tom, when you put that D104 on there, that was exactly what that radio wanted. It's just spectacular. Some people might think it had a few too many highs in it, but I like it quite a lot because it's really pleasant to listen to and we wouldn't miss a word. Joseph was on his 200V and I'm on my 10A tonight, so there's three of us tonight, over.
Roger, roger. Well, this is an experiment. I'm thinking of maybe trying that Electro Voice 664 and inserting a capacitor in the microphone lead and seeing if that makes any difference. It's probably still not going to sound as good as the D104, but just something I thought that I might give a try someday just for grins. Over.
Well, the D104 is going to be understood by everybody because it's really crisp and clear, and I like it a lot. Nice work on that, and I remember what a pretty radio that was. I'm glad it fell into good hands. Over.
Roger, roger. Well, it's still needs a little bit of work. The next project is to fix the final span. The sleeve bearings are worn, and it makes a lot of noise. And need to figure out what I'm going to do in that department. I'm sure there's lots of other tweaks that you could use as well. But yeah, it seems to be working okay. Over.
I'd say so. Great to hear you. Anything else for the net this evening?
Nope, that's it. KC5L.
Who else wants to talk boat anchors? K5LYN, listening.
M5QS.
Okay. Hey, there's somebody else who'd probably like to take some check-ins. What do you say, Jay?
I just fired everything up. The band has moved over the top of us and cleared out about 15 miles or so, maybe 20 by now. So I thought I'd fire it up real quick and see what I could get it to do. It's only 8:30 this evening. Don't have my notepad handy, but I think I could probably wing it if you need some help.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to take a break and go down the hall here. Hey, let me ask you a question. We talked about that station having a kind of a weird sound like the ALC cutting it back or something. Then we figured out it was something else. Remind me about that whole discussion, because I'm hearing it some tonight.
Yeah, are you hearing it? Is it breaking up again?
Yeah, there was a double there, but yeah, I could still hear it. I think as you talk longer, it goes away. But whatever that, didn't we figure out an alternative explanation for that last week?
Well, not that I remember, except that it quit doing it when what did I do? Shucks, I can't remember now. I did something. I moved a bunch of stuff around, and it turned out that wasn't it. I'm thinking, oh no, I reset the bias on the radio. That's what I did.
That's what it was. Yeah, and it was maybe that had nothing to do with it going away last week, but it went away when you did that. Well, it's just barely there now, but I can still hear some of it once in a while. So talk a while, and maybe it'll fix it again. Yeah, pick it up, and I'll be around here. K5LYN.
Okay. Let's see. I found a pencil and I found a piece of paper. So, who else wants to talk to Boat Anchor Net? KM5QS.
November 5, Juliet Golf X-ray.
I'm sorry, station in Victor again.
November 5, Juliet Golf X-ray.
Well, static crashes are getting in the middle of your call, but go ahead, sir.
I'll take him up right quick. He's local. Hugo, go ahead and talk to us.
Yep, just checking in for the count there. Good afternoon and good evening to everybody. Haven't been in here in a while. Heard you and Jay in here earlier and everybody else. Thought I'd check in and hopefully everybody survived the weather there.
You sound good, Hugo. Yeah, Jay, that was N5JGX. Back to you, Jay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I recognized the voice after you said that. I took the breast shield off this thing. I don't know if that's going to make any difference or not, but you might hear some breath pops, but maybe it'll keep it from dropping out. Of course, that may not have anything at all to do with it. Okay, folks, for Boat Anchors Net, come on down.
Kilo Lima 7 Charlie Delta.
Well, hello, Mike. Go right ahead.
All right, I'm sorry I'm so late checking in, but I just got back from my favorite city, Austin. I was helping my oldest daughter unpack. She moved yesterday, and my wife and I went up there and helped her unpack. I got rained on pretty hard there in Austin. I got back here to New Braunfels and had 1 inch in the rain gauge, so, you know, just a good, healthy rain. No big deal. And I just turned my boat anchors on here, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, so I may drift on by, but anyway, I'm running the Hallicrafters Twins, and I'm running that into an SB220 heat kit. Microphone's a Shure 444D, and my antenna's a dipole up about 25 feet. A lot of static crashes down here, too. I'll throw it back to you, JKL7 Charlie Delta.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, good deal. No, I figured you were probably on the Hallicrafters because it's beautiful audio. And, yeah, you might have gone up the band just a hair, but I could still understand everything, no problem. And, you know, we're operating under marginal conditions this evening anyway, so it sounds great. Good to hear you. Anybody else for the Boat Anchors Net this evening?
Hey, Jay.
Yes, sir?
What did you say you changed a few minutes ago?
Say again?
What did you say you changed something on your transmitter a few minutes ago?
Oh, I didn't. A few minutes. I took the breast shield off.
Well, your popping is completely gone now.
I'll be done wrong. Well, maybe this 664 doesn't. You know, they're not supposed to need breast shields, so maybe I was over. Hell, I don't know. Whatever works.
Well, you can ask anybody else if you want, but to me, it's gone completely. KWZ. It sounds much better.
Cool. Thank you, Dan. I needed that. Yeah, there's some people who live down too dang close to Mexico that don't like to hear me going. All right, folks. Anyone else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited this evening?
WV5I.
Whiskey Victor 5 India, and there was another one out behind him. I'll catch you in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, Jay. Yeah, your signal's about 10 over, and your audio did get better up here also. This is Dwayne, WV5I in Cook County. We're running the S3 line with 30S1, running about a kilowatt into an inverted V, and the microphone is a 444D.
Well, it's sounding fine down here. That's what I love about this 830. Not only is the audio going out pretty good, but the receive coming in makes y'all all sound excellent. So everybody ought to appreciate this rig.
All right, well, you're sounding good up here.
Thank you, sir. All right, now there was another station in there underneath Dwayne. Come try it again. Okay, something. I got the ED and it was 9 stations, so it must have been. Well, go ahead and give your call again, and then just go ahead.
Echo Delta, K9 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The handle is Rick, Roger, Ida, Charlie King, and again QTH is Kenosha, Wisconsin. Over.
Okay, Rick. I can copy you most of the time. We've had a front just came through here, and we're still suffering under proximity lightning strikes, not close enough to hurt us, but just enough to get into our receivers. But go ahead with your description and all that stuff, and we'll be listening. Or was that it?
I don't hear him either, Jay.
I'll be darned. Well, I think it was Whiskey 9 November Echo Delta, and I could be wrong on that, but up in Wisconsin, I think.
Yeah, K9WED is what I got.
Oh, K9, okay, yeah, that'll work.
W5DPP.
Well, hello, Sammy. Why don't you say something?
Well, good evening, all. On the net, that's kind of noisy over here. We survived the tornado down here. It just came through up the road and tore up a few houses and a few metal buildings and barns. You know, there was one house that just picked the whole barn up and disappeared. I don't know where it went, but pretty good sized barn. And that was about 4 miles from me here, so it's been on the news that the tornado hit here, so that's about what it was. I don't think anybody was hurt in it, but so far they hadn't said anybody was hurt anyway. So that's all we got. We're just on the flex here this evening. I have on a different amplifier. I thought I would try it out this evening. So that's about all we got here, Jay. W5DPP. Looks like I got a pretty good thunderstorm going through Huntsville now. EBGB might be getting it over there.
I have a question, Jay.
Go ahead.
Sammy, could you see the funnel cloud?
No, I did not see it here. A friend of mine called me right after, and he told me about it. I didn't see it or hear about it till after it is already gone. So, but it was right. It was in the range. I should have been able to see it if I was looking for it.
And the storm may have been such you couldn't see it too. I was just curious. I've seen one in my life, and I was in one that I couldn't see. Only curiosity on my part. Back to you, Jay. Carry on. K5LYN.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you didn't have any significant damage or anything, Sammy. Everybody survived it. Those things are not fun to play around with.
Had some real good rain there. It come a frog strangler there for a while.
It took us about 10 minutes to get 0.2 of an inch, and then it was gone. And I figured, dang, well, that email I sent Lynn, I guess I'll just have to go ahead and fire it up anyway.
M5DMC. Hey, Sammy?
Yeah?
Did you go outside and look up when it got black outside?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw this thing. It looked like a fist coming down, and then I guess that was after it all said and done, but it had that green glow.
What time did that come through?
Oh, man, I don't know. Right after that, the power went out, and the wife got home, and
I would guess somewhere around 6 o'clock. It was real dark up in the sky, and then the over at the horizon it was real light. So we had this weird looking cloud.
Yeah, and then like I said, I looked straight up and what the heck, and it looked like there was a green glow and kind of like a fist, and I watched it, and it was coming down, but it wasn't a single thing. It just looked like a downflow burst or something like that.
Did y'all get any hail out of it?
No. You get the hail, Sammy?
Yeah, no hail.
You're lucky. The hail is, the green is indicative there's probably some up there. It just didn't fall where y'all were. Anyway,
thanks for letting me in, Jay. This is N5DMC. Sammy, I'm glad to hear you safe. I'll be sitting on the side.
Okie doke. All righty. Do we have any more health and welfare messages? Okay. Now, just checking. Hey, anyone else for the Boat Anchors Unlimited this evening?
Recheck.
Recheck, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted a little more comment, maybe asking for too much, but is this D104 on my Swan 500? Is it set about right then?
What about your Swan 500, Ron? The static crashes are competing with you.
Okay, I was just wondering if this D104 was sounding about right.
Yes, sir, I think it does. It's got the voice quality is clean. It sounds like a real person talking. There's no artificial artifacts in it or anything. I think it probably sounds about as good as it's going to.
Oh, well, that's good enough to report, and I owe you for this. Is this Jay?
I'm sorry, say again?
What's your name?
Oh, yes, sir, this is Jay, KM5QS.
Yeah, you're probably the one that was on the swap the other night when I tied the frequency up a little too long.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm the one that recognized you the other night on the swap net. That's true.
Yeah, I kind of tied it up. We visited a little too long. Okay, we'll catch you later, Jay.
All righty, Ron. It is sounding good. Sounds pretty much like I figured you'd sound if you were standing next to me. All righty, this is KM5QS, Boat Anchors Unlimited. Give me one more check-in, and then I'll let Lynn take another shot at it. I really wasn't ready to do this. KM5QS.
Yeah, RON. I'll be clear. WB5 RON.
Lynn, you want to pick it up? My wife needs me to do something.
Yeah, thanks for the help out there, Jay. Yeah, it's been a long net, a lot of check-ins. All right, this is K5LYN on the Central Electronics 10A, followed by a lot of other amplifiers. Anybody else want to talk boat anchors tonight? I'm listening. We might have covered the territory. We've been on, if you include the pre-net, well over an hour. Anybody else? A final call.
WA5 Edward David X-ray, better late than never.
Hey, Byron, how you doing?
I'm not on frequency.
You're a tiny bit lower than I am. Not a big deal.
Well, that's better. It's Byron in Buffdale. Just got home from a church dinner here a little while ago, so I didn't get to hear most of the net, so I guess I'll have to get on the internet a little later tonight and listen to a mass recording of it and see what all I missed. Hopefully it didn't talk about me too much. Got the same static crash as everybody else has. And I've had a good rain here. Good rain, no tornadoes, so that's good. The pond went from almost empty last night to almost full today, so that was good. Just on Kenwood TS820 tonight, MC50 mic, and running barefoot, of course. Sammy, I'm glad to hear you survived down there. So that's good. You'll live to fight another day. So back to you, Lynn, and your Central Electronics is sure sounding good. Hearing you over the static real well tonight. K5LYN, WA5EDX.
You know, when I listen to this rig and my 20A also, I think the fidelity makes them be heard better. I always like to listen to this over my crystal filter rigs because you just hear a lot more. Anyway, great to hear you, Byron. And let me see. It's been a remarkably good net. We had Perry from Missouri come in, and we had K9WED Rick in Wisconsin. So in spite of all this static, the band was alive and people were talking tonight. Back to you for any last comments, Byron. Over.
No, nothing worth sharing. Bye.
All right. Have a nice evening. Who else? K5LYN listening.
Oh, I got a comment, Lynn.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was amazed when I first turned everything on, checked the status of the antenna and stuff like that. I was on the 990, and when I switched over to the 830, I noticed the audio was just so much nicer coming. And then I figured out what it was. The only piece of Collins gear I have left in the house is the 270G speaker that I'm running behind the 830. It really works.
Yeah, they do. Well, quality is what it is, you know. And by the way, that station you're on right now, whatever it is, as soon as you operate it a while, it clears up that funny glitch in the audio.
Well, I noticed, I looked over and I was going way past the ALC, so I cut it back a little bit, and now I'm just topping out the ALC, and I do not have the breast shield on it anymore. Jim down in there in FAR, I know he'll say, put it back on. Well, Jim, maybe I'll get some new teeth, and then you won't have to listen to it anymore.
Well, actually, I always thought it was the ALC.
Well, it could have been.
Yeah, maybe so. Sounding great tonight. All right, Jay, great to hear you. Anything else on your end?
No, that's fine. Anyone else out there, let me get out of the way.
Well, we're probably about to wind it down. Any late last comers for the net? K5LYN listening? Okay, I heard one way back in there. I'm not sure I heard you. KG5TTX or something like that. Try it.
KG5ZZX. I don't know how well I'm making it or not. Can you hear me?
ZTX, tell me your name and where you're at. Over.
Okay, let me give it another shot here. KG5ZZX, this is Frank over in Wilson County. Can you hear me a little bit better now?
Yeah, Frank, I do. I'm not sure I got your call right, but tell us about the story. This is K5LYN. My name's Lynn. Over.
Okay, thank you, Lynn, for letting me in here. Gotta tell you, this is just my second time to get on HF. I jumped in last week and talked to Jay for a little bit, but anyway, I hope you can hear me well enough. Am I anywhere close to being on frequency?
Well, I can tell you that you're a little bit lower in frequency than I am, but I'm not on a modern radio, so I couldn't guarantee that we're on 3870. Over.
Lynn, Lynn, you're right on the money, and ZZX is the suffix of his call, and you're probably about 30 cycles down the band.
W5DPP again.
Go ahead, Sammy.
I just wanted to let you know there was a tornado warning in around Huntsville area, and then one up around Gilmer. So we're still not out of the woods on all this weather.
All right, yeah, folks need to turn on the TV and watch the weather reports because it's still out there. Thanks for the information, Sammy. Frank, are you still hearing us? ZZX, pick it up.
Yes, I am. I'm just, I don't know if you've got me yet or not. Am I still going out? I just had something go out over here on me. Am I still making it? I think I'm only doing about 80 watts.
Well, you're a little bit lower in frequency. Come up the band just a little bit.
Any better?
Come up a little bit more.
Okay, how about there?
That's close enough. Tell us about your radio.
Okay, sorry about all this. I think I just had an amp go out or something. But anyway, this is Frank. I'm over in Wilson County, about 30 miles east of San Antonio. I'm running a Yaesu FT101 amplifiers, a AL80, running through a tuner, a 986 MFJ, and I've got an antenna 42 feet up. It's a G5RV in the inverted V configuration. But anyway, just wanted to jump in here to see if I couldn't get this thing going. Apparently, I still need to do some work on this FT101. It's been on the shelf for a long time, and I've been keeping it going with some duct tape and baling wire, really. But anyway, thanks for letting me in there, Lynn. KL5LYN, KG5ZZX.
Okay, all right, Frank. I'm not an expert on those old Yaesus. I've never owned one, but there are several people here on the net that have, and I think there's some consensus that they don't always transmit and receive on the same frequency unless you get them set up just right. So this is a good place. You can pick some brains about how to get that right. Over.
10-4, I've been working on it for a while. I had to change out like a crystal filter on the lower side, and my board, audio board,
you got that,
I've got the little Sanyo 401 that went out on it, so I've got an external amplifier bringing in the receive. So stuff like that is happening to me, but I'll get there. I'll enjoy working on this thing. Really appreciate all the boat anchors out there. This is the epitome of ham for me. I love the tube-type equipment. Back to you, Lynn.
Okay, anybody here want to advise Frank? Well, maybe this is not the best time, Frank, but keep on it. Keep us posted on your progress. Over.
10-4. Appreciate it. 73s, everybody. KG5ZZX out of here. Thank you, Lynn.
All right, we've been on over an hour. I think it's time to put the net on automatic, and I will turn the frequency over to anybody else that wants to talk. Great net tonight. We'll do it again next Wednesday. And this is K5LYN 73s and listening out.
Question, Lynn?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is my JL7CD. I'd like to ask anybody on frequency, or maybe I know a lot of people have probably left the net because it's toward the end, but I need some help or advice on let me just tell you my problem. I got a Super Pro 600 made by Hammerlin, and I'm trying to use it with, and I got an antenna relay and all that. I'm trying to use it with Harvey Wells transmitter on AM. And so when I switch the transmit and receive, or they call it send and receive, switch to send, it does mute the receiver. But when I switch it back to receive, it does do that too, but I've got about half the signal strength. And so it's something weird is happening there. So what I want to do is modify the send-receive circuit so when I desensitize the receiver, when I turn it back on, it's just like when I turned it off. Now, when I turn the rig off and leave it off for a while and turn it back on, everything's fine again in the receive mode. So it's affecting the ALC or something in that send-receive mode. So what I'm looking for is a simple circuit that I can just go ahead and leave the existing circuit, shorted together, and then find some way to mute the receiver. Now, the simplest circuit I found is for the Hallicrafters SX117. And when you send it to receive, it lifts the first and second mixer. It lifts the cathode from ground. And then when you turn it back to receive, it just reconnects the cathode to ground, and you're right back where you started. All the other circuits I've seen are a little more complicated. It's hard to really follow them with a schematic because they go through a bunch of those damn wafer switches and all that sort of thing, so I can't really figure out what they're doing. But the problem with the Super Pro 600, I would desensitize both of those mixers, except one of them is right on like a sub chassis next to the turret, and it's almost impossible to get to without it is impossible to get to without taking the receiver half apart. So I was just wondering if anybody thinks if I just desensitize one of those mixers or lift the cathode from ground, will that mute the receiver? I mean, I can dig into it and try it and see if it works, but I want anybody's advice that might give me a hint on some simple way to mute the receiver and then re-energize it when you send it to receive.
Okay. I'll make a comment, and maybe others do. But when I was a kid, the first several years I was on the air, I quieted the receiver by breaking the speaker leads with a relay. That will do it.
Yeah, just put headphones and monitor. Why you got to mute it?
I just got a thought that if it's working fine, and when it mutes it, then when it comes back, it's only about half what it was on your receive. I would look at whatever relays you're using that are making and breaking. They may need cleaning.
Yeah, I'm not running it through a relay there, Jay. I can actually do this, with a jumper lead. And I've checked the switch, and it's fine. The send-receive switch. I'm not using a relay right now. The receiver's just on its own. I don't have it hooked up with a relay to use the transmitter. But if I just flip that switch from receive to send, it mutes it. And when I flip it back to receive, I got about half.
Well, how have you got your antenna connected both to the transmitter and the receiver?
I don't yet.
Yeah, put a relay on there. Use a relay to switch back and forth. You got to have you got to have a relay on it to switch from the receiver to the transmitter.
I know that. I haven't connected them through my relay yet. I have this problem with the antenna run directly to the receiver, and when I reach down and flip the switch on the front of the receiver from receive to send, it mutes the receiver, but the minute I switch it back, I have about half the signal strength.
Well, maybe the contact's on the switch, but that's weird. Why would it be changing something?
Yeah, it's weird, and why would it? But it's not the contacts on the switch because I've checked all that.
Another trick.
How long does it take, or how do you get the receiver to come back to the regular audio?
It never does, from my experience. I haven't left it on like an hour and see if it does. But if I turn that receiver off and wait, half an hour and turn it back on in the receive position, I have full signal strength.
One trick is to ground in the transmit position on that relay is to, let's say you have a 2-pole or a 3-pole relay, is to use a separate set of contacts to ground the receiver input on the way back to the receiver, just as a extra cautionary while you're transmitting. And then I think maybe a crystal phasing adjustment, maybe changing some peaking adjustment on the front panel receiver, maybe needing re-peaking. I think that's what Dano was asking. By the way, this is N5DMC.
If you can get at that send-receive switch, next time it does it, just take a little jumper and put it across there, see if it brings it back.
Yeah, I've already done that. Whoever had the receiver before me had leads back from the send-receive switch to a couple of screw terminals that had been used for another purpose, and he had disconnected all the wires and just connected twisted pair all the way back from the send-receive switch to these two terminals. So it's real easy for me to short that in the send position to see if it comes back, and it does not. And I can do the same thing at the switch, and it does not come back.
Maybe you got a 2-position antenna switch. Just wire a manual switch on there and see if it works that way. You got to have some kind of switch to switch the antenna between the transmitter and the receiver. If you don't have that, how does it work? You got an antenna coming in, and you got to be able to go from the transmitter to the receiver somehow. Either a dial key relay or a manual relay or something like that. So just if you got a 2-position coax switch, just wire it up on the outside and see if it works that way.
Yeah, it's okay. I do not have the transmitter connected to a relay. I just have an antenna, a piece of coax straight from the antenna to the receiver. and I'm not switching it to transmit and receive. I'm just trying to send. When you send it to the send switch, it mutes the receiver. The switch is on the front of the receiver. And when you switch it back to receive, it comes back at half signal strength. I haven't even tried it with a transmitter yet. It's a problem with the receiver.
Well, never mute the receiver anyway. I just use headphones, and you don't have to mute the receiver then.
If you use headphones, you don't have to mute the receiver.
That's what I do. That's the way I use it. I use it as a monitor. You monitor your transmitter that way. You just don't mute the receiver and listen to it on the receiver when you transmit. You can try it that way.
Most of them, the headphones disconnect the speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that. Yeah, if I plug a set of headphones in, man, anytime I've ever tried to do that in a monitor mode, it just blows my ears away.
Yeah.
Okay, just get a headphone, just get a plug without anything hooked to it, and stick that in there to cut your receiver off.
You got a lot of RF in a close proximity to the front end of that receiver, though.
Well, I run, 1,500 watts that way. I run that broadcast transmitter that way. I don't use any of the receivers. If you can't take it, you don't need the damn thing. If you can't take it, it's all enough to stay.
Take a lot, I figure, but I'm just scared to try that.
Well, that's what I said a while ago. I just muted the speaker leads.
No more power than you're doing out of a Harvey Wells. You could probably run it directly into the damn receiver and not hurt.
Yeah, the Harvey Wells is going to drive a Thunderbolt.
Yep. That ain't no more than a pair of 4400s in a broadcast transmitter.
That was a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, if you just plug an empty plug into that thing, that would break the speaker leads, and you wouldn't have to switch nothing else.
Yeah, like if I did that, I'd have to run it over to an extra set of contacts on the relay. Is that not right?
Wow. No.
Well,
they want it to be automatic. You don't want to have to switch it out by.
Empty phono plug that goes into the headphone jack. Every time I transmit, I've got to turn it on and off somehow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That would be if you did it that way, and it came back, and when you unplugged it, it came back to full strength instead of half strength. Then you at least know that there was a way to do it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, you've given me some food for thought. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I mean, it's had me scratching my head.
Yeah, think about the common connection, not the normally closed, not the normally open, but the common, the center pin on the. And by the way, my tower just got hit about 30 seconds ago. The center wiper being your antenna connection, and then it goes either to the relay or to the transmitter. But like I said, yeah, consider grounding the input in the transmit position. Gentlemen, I'm going to unplug. I think that would be a good time. 738, buddy. N5DMC.
I'm going to look at my manual schematic here for the 600 and see what that relay or that switch does.
Pardon me for coming in late, but what kind of receiver was that?
SP600.
Late World War II and then during the 50s, a real high-end double conversion receiver. It has like 20 or 21 tubes in it.
Okie doke, thank you.
I just plug the headphones in and not worry about muting.
signal, so it's pretty
I'm
good.
going to give that a try.
Well, you can hear what you got going out through your speaker. If you got a good enough, wide enough receiver, I listen on a 75.84, about 9 kcs wide on AM, and it sounds pretty good that way. Pretty good monitor.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I'm scared too, but I'm going to.